I'm hearing from all these chuds about how these comic books are all woke and like, all this shit. And it's like, I read this and I'm like, this is just good. Like, what's woke? Oh, Hedgehog Nerd, you bring up New Year. Guys, Happy New Year. We have a brand new Year. And that segues me nicely into something new I'm going to do this year. Total experiment, but I decided, what? I haven't actually... the way I've been doing comic books is essentially I read 2 or 3 graphic novels a year. And that's it. That's my comic book intake. And I thought, what? For 2024, it's a new year. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a comic book shop, and I'm going to pick up 3 comic books, and I'm just going to read them and share them with you guys, essentially. Give you my thoughts, tell you how woke it is. Because, all comic books are woke now, apparently. I've heard that. But yeah, 3 comic books that appeal to me. So, I asked you guys a little while ago, I was like, I'm thinking about doing some comic books. What would you guys request? And I got requests for, essentially, Transformers and Creepshow. So we will be covering a Creepshow, and I'm thinking maybe I'll do, Transformers maybe at a later date. But, essentially, I looked for a Creepshow, and I picked out the Creepshow that looked coolest to me, and then I picked out Marvel and DC books, the ones that appealed to me the most. And what I'll do is I'll go over these, and then whatever my favorite book is, I will follow it up with another issue of that book next week, if it's my favorite this week. And I just thought that'd be a fun way to dive into comic books and to actually see if they're being destroyed by identity politics, as we all know they are. Every comic book is gay now, apparently. I believe that's the line they're trying to push right now. I already had to get my books for next week ready to go because I won't be able to get to that shop for another week. But if you guys have any comic book requests you'd like me to cover, I am happy to fill one. Essentially, what could be is essentially you guys will have one request. I will have one book that's a follow-up to the book I appreciate the most last week. And then I'll just pick a fresh one. And then every week we'll do that. And kind of also the experiment to see how easy it is to just dive in. Because these are just books that I picked up, that I looked at the cover and said, okay, I'll pick this up. I don't know the storylines. I'm just kind of jumping into the book wherever. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. So anyways, listen, these aren't the best pictures, but I did the best I could with these comic books, just so I could share them with you guys. So, the first comic book I picked up, because Dane's doing his Year of the Bub, and I was like, oh, wow, it's 50th anniversary of Wolverine. Let's pick up a Wolverine comic book, and I can't resist this cover. This is just Wolverine in a classic fucking pose. I've heard good things about Star Trek comics, too. That might be fun to check out. Link up to my other stream. God, we need to do a Star Trek stream soon. I know Lindsay's putting together a 7 of 9 stream. I'm excited for that. But yeah. So I can't resist this cover. This is just a classic Wolverine pose, and I just love the artwork on this. Yeah, I do need to cover some Miles Morales, absolutely. I was really tempted to dive into Miguel O'Hara as well. He's getting a little pushback. Not a lot, not Miles level at all. But anyways, this like I said, this is just, I love this cover. It's a variant cover. I think it says variant edition up there. I didn't know comic books do that now. I like it. I remember when you had variant covers and I was never sure which one was the variant and which one was supposed to be the real one until later. I'll just pick up whichever one I like, which, I still will do. But yeah, this is absolutely a variant cover. But yeah, let's see what the story's like. So, what this book does is, essentially the beginning is just your exposition dump. Essentially, diving into this, I'm learning that Wolverine is on the run. Mutants are in a really shitty spot. Apparently, no more mutants Orcus promises. And again, looking at this first page, solid fucking artwork. This is all really good stuff. And then it's essentially what you see is a lot of Wolverine on the run. as we get this exposition dump, learning about all the stuff that's going on with what was it, the Krakoa stuff. Like, I'm not sure why Orcus is mentioned so often. I'm assuming if I read anything else around this timeline, I'd know. Another thing I would talk about that I like. It's like almost like an Easter egg, but like if you look, here's a Sentinel, and it looks like Iron Man, and apparently this is just something Dane told me, but I didn't know about it because I was like, why does that Sentinel look like Iron Man? It's apparently because Tony Stark has essentially had a hostile takeover of his company, and so he's lost control of his company, and now Sentinels are being used in the blueprints for Iron Man, or vice versa, something like that. You get the gist. But I think that's a cool Easter egg. Like essentially, there's lots of stuff here. Like, they don't explain everything, but like, what this exposition dump essentially did was explain that mutants are on the run. Most of them are off-world now, and there's only a few left on planet Earth. One of them is obviously Wolverine, and Wolverine is looking for 3 clones of himself that Beast made. And again, both these pages have solid artwork. And in case you're wondering, we have this like homeless guy who's like going to meet up with Wolverine. Spoiler for a couple pages ahead. The homeless guy is Bruce Banner. But yeah, and this is, of course, the title page. We get, and this is why I almost want to grab the book, because I want to go over the people who actually worked on it. So we have Benjamin Percy as the writer, Juan Jose Ripe as the artist, Frank Di Armato as the colorist. And Lino Francis Yu and Romulu... God, I slaughter names. I apologize. Romulu Fajardo Jr. as the cover artist. I'm going to assume that's the cover art for this one. The cover art that, like, pretty much sold me the book because I fucking loved it. But yeah, and then you get Exposition Dump here. So, like, this book is doing a lot to kind of explain why I need to know of the story. I am seeing lots of requests here, and I'm down for it. I'll probably go over it after I'm done discussing this. But yeah, awesome, guys. I'm seeing lots of talks for Miles, so I think in 2 weeks I'm covering a Miles comic book, it seems like, guys. One thing I will say is I kind of looked out this comic book. So I just grabbed one that looked cool, and it's Last Mutant Standing Part 1. So, like, I'm beginning at the beginning of an arc, which is always a good sign when you pick up a random book. Because this book, like the beginning, does pretty much up this. It's lots of exposition, but, like, it's doing it in a cool way. Like, we're seeing Wolverine on the run while he explains what's up. So far, solid book, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And then we end up with the Hal estate here while he's tracking down... Yeah, some of these pictures are blurry. I'm going to get better at doing this. Because I'm really... We'll get to it. But, like, yeah, this was awesome stuff. I haven't actually read, like, an actual comic book in... Fuck. It's been at least 10 years since I've read an actual comic book. Like I said, it's all been, like, graphic novels, which still counts, but, like a little, like, floppy comic book, I've almost never read that. So, I read them forever when I was a teenager, but, actual picking one up, it was cool. I dug it. But anyways, he goes to the Hallett estate, which I assume is his home. He's looking for the clones of himself. This one picture in the corner of Wolverine, I wanted to point this out because this is the one moment I remember reading where I thought the artwork wasn't maximize this one in the corner. Overall, I think the artwork in this book is fantastic. I think this one, like, shot, like, kind of action shot of him growling doesn't quite work for me. That's my biggest complaint of the artwork in this book. I'll have later complaints about artwork. But, yeah, this is, like I said, yeah, he's looking for a clone of himself. And then he encounters this big fucking Wendigo thing. Fucking clone of himself. Giant fucker. And then we get a little bit of origin. You know, this book does a really good job of setting stuff up. We see Wolverine when he was younger. A scene that I'm most familiar with because of X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was an atrocious movie, but hey! Anyways, and then we get this big old, we don't get a big old fight. The Wendigo Wolverine kind of gets a jump on him and fucking tears him in half because, yeah, he's Wolverine. As you can tell, this is a very G-rated comic book. Like, this is a kiddie comic book. But anyways, of course, we saw Bruce Banner earlier, and to kind of, I was just kind of accept the fact that he's not too far off, and he fucks up this Wendigo Wolverine for him. And then he kind of, I assume he pretty much puts Wolverine's legs next to his stomach so he can heal up, which, god damn, that healing factor is fucking useful. I mean, Jesus. But I will say, you guys, I am seeing requests for Birds of Prey, and I will tell you guys, it's not Birds of Prey, but for next week, I did pick up a DC book featuring a woman that... It's a woman that I'm a big fan of, so we will check it out. But yeah, it's just kind of... And then we get this Wolverine heals and wakes up, and then he and Bruce have this nice little conversation about, essentially tracking down these Wolverines and getting them under control. So the whole book from this point forward is essentially an adventure with Bruce Banner and Wolverine looking for Wolverines, clones of Wolverines. So they go to Japan. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So he gets this note that gives him the next clue is to Japan. I know Wolverine's been in Japan. That's like a classic Wolverine comic book. That is fantastic, actually. If you haven't read the Wolverine in Japan graphic novel, it's amazing. But anyways, so they go to Japan. They're looking around in the woods, and they encounter like this cult, essentially. Well, I'm jumping ahead a bit. They first get knocked out. They talk about how, like, when we're two guys who are pretty much invulnerable, we can be a bit sloppy and let them catch us. See what happens, and that's what happens. These guys catch them, knock them out, and they capture them. Now they're part of this cult, and it's like this cult that found this clone of Wolverine, and they like worship him, and they're trying to get his healing powers. It's very fucking weird. But yeah, this is it's a twisted situation they're in. We got the clone of Wolverine right here. They're cutting him open. They're drinking his blood and sharing his blood. It's a twisted world we live in, guys. Twisted fucking world we live in. But yes, so they go around. They're drinking his blood. Weird shit. But yeah, and then all hell breaks loose. They end up stabbing Bruce. Wolverine ends up kind of getting out through his claws, and then he goes after the clone, and then Bruce ends up getting stabbed, and of course we know what happens then. Big old Hulk time. Hulk tears through him, Wolverine's tearing through him. Wolverine gets into a little fight with the clone, and then where's the interesting idea? I might have to read this out to you guys a bit. But, like, the cultists get fucked up, obviously. They get fucked up. And then the clone is, like, concerned and wants to help them. He's running over, Wolverine, help. Wolverine, good. No more hurt. And, I mean, they take him out, and this cult is insane. But, like, Logan is like, all these clones have, like, aspects of him. And, like, this one's showing empathy. Even though this cult is fucked up, this one's showing empathy, is giving Logan, like, pause. Which is... It's interesting. But anyways, they go to the next location, Madripoor, to find the third one. Apparently the third one has taken on the Patch identity, which I know I've read about the Patch identity, but it's been a while. But anyways, they go to this club. They're looking around, and then they're like, hey, what are you doing out of your room? throw him in the room, and then they see, like a lot of this appears to be like essentially he's like a gang lord who's in charge of stuff. So they're like, oh wow, this is like a smart clone of Wolverine. That's weird. But they find the original Wolverine and they throw him in his room. Like, what are you doing out of your room? And then they quickly see that the Wolverine they're looking for is in his room, and yeah, he's just kind of doing whatever the fuck Wolverines do when they're clones and weird. And then of course Bruce gets captured. So they both get captured as they do. But real quick, it's worth going over. Before this, they have a conversation over the speakers where Bruce wants to warn Wolverine that it's getting harder and harder to come back after Hulk takes over. So he really doesn't want to Hulk out. Like, that's kind of a tool that they've been doing, but like, he's like, dude, don't make me Hulk out. I can't do it. And that's the thing. So we're still looking for woke stuff. Tell me if you see woke stuff, please. But anyways, yeah, we get the wow, this is not a good picture. But anyways, we get the fucked up Wolverine. Regular Wolverine throws a fight. We get to see the mob boss. He has the Mazmune, something like that. The blade that Silver Samurai has that can fuck up Wolverine. So he's holding Bruce hostage with it. Odds are it might be able to fuck up Bruce. Who knows? But you know, they're held hostage. They put Bruce in the ring with the Wolverine clone, in the hopes to turn it into a fight, which of course, like, he gets Bruce in the back, and of course, you know, boom, he Hulks out. They get into a fight, and then Wolverine manages to get his chains cut. But anyways, he Hulks out. Wolverine's set free. They get into the fight. They beat up another clone of Wolverine. So they get all three clones. And then that's kind of the end. Hulk jumps away. I assume we'll probably see the further adventures of Bruce Banner in probably a Hulk book. But yeah, and then Wolverine wanders off, and he's kind of seeing these three versions of himself, and he's reflecting on what that means for who he is and his future. And that's pretty much the end of the book. I personally thought this was a fantastic book. It was fast-paced, lots of action, but lots of story, lots of character, clear character motivations. This was just a really fantastic, like, I dug it. The artwork, like I said, pretty much there's one misstep in the art, but overall, I thought the artwork in this book was pretty fucking phenomenal. Great book. This is an awesome book to kind of dive back into comic books with. Yeah, character introspection, woke. Yeah, no, that's yeah. Yeah, woke feelings and shit. Yeah, no, this is, yeah, and like, I'm hearing from all these chuds about how these comic books are all woke and, like, you know, all this shit. And it's like, I read this and I'm like, this is just good. Like, what's woke? I don't even know what that word means anymore, which I never really did. But, like, this is just a cool Wolverine comic book. It's awesome. So anyways, this was fantastic. Oh yeah, I was thinking about doing star ratings. So we'll see if this sticks. Maybe I should do more like star. The problem with ratings, I'll always say, is that you always are a little bit different every time you watch or read or experience something based on your mood. But I was thinking, if I were to do star ratings out of 5, I might go ahead and give this one like a 4.5, because it's really good. It's not the best comic book I've ever read by any margin, but like, it's really fucking good. They do a really good job with this one. So 4.5 stars out of 5. Really good, and it'll be really hard for any of the other 2 comic books this week to overcome this one, because it's just a really good starting off point. Fucking great opening. So the second comic book we'll be covering is Creepshow.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do best isn't very nice.
You're not an animal, Logan. Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.